Imagine a world where a lost dog could trigger a war. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because in 1925, that's exactly what happened. Picture this: 50 innocent lives lost, 10,000 troops ready for battle, and at the center of it all, just one confused pup who wandered across the wrong border at the wrong time. No, this isn't some weird alternate history. This is the absolutely true story of how a stray dog nearly kicked off what historians almost called World War 1.5. Let's rewind to 1925. Europe was still picking up the pieces after World War I, but nowhere was the tension thicker than in the Balkans. Greece and Bulgaria, these neighbors weren't exactly sharing friendly BBQs over the fence. Think of it like this. You know those neighbors who've been feuding so long, they forgot why they started fighting in the first place? That was Greece and Bulgaria. Years of wars, land grabs, and bitter rivalries had turned their border into a powder keg. And right in the middle of this mess sat Petric, a tiny region that both countries claimed as their own. Picture the world's deadliest game of tug-of-war, with soldiers instead of rope. Life along this border in 1925? Pure chaos. Every day, guards from both sides watched each other through binoculars, fingers itching on their triggers. One wrong move, one misunderstanding, and boom, the whole region could explode. And that's exactly what happened when one little dog decided to go for a walk. October 18, 1925. A perfectly normal day along the border, until it wasn't. A Greek soldier was patrolling his usual route with his faithful companion, a scruffy mutt that helped keep him company during those long, boring shifts. But this ordinary day took a wild turn when something caught the dog's attention across the border. Maybe it was a rabbit. Maybe it was another dog. We'll never know. But what happened next changed everything. The dog bolted across the invisible line that separated Greece from Bulgaria. The Greek soldier, without thinking, called out to his dog. A Bulgarian guard spotted the dog, then spotted the Greek soldier moving towards the border, and just like that, bang! The Bulgarian guard fired a warning shot. The Greek soldier fired back. Within minutes, what started as a simple attempt to retrieve a wandering dog turned into a firefight. News of the incident spread like wildfire. Greece, already looking for an excuse, saw their chance. Within hours, they fired off an ultimatum to Bulgaria. Apologize and pay up, or else. Bulgaria's response? A flat-out no. They weren't about to be pushed around over a dog. Greece didn't waste time. They sent 10,000 troops charging across the border. Tanks rolled in. Artillery opened fire. Bulgarian villages were burning, all because of one dog's decision to chase whatever caught its eye. The body count started rising. Civilians fled their homes. And the world watched in disbelief as two nations spiraled towards full-scale war. All while that innocent dog was probably somewhere, blissfully unaware of the chaos it had unleashed. While Greece and Bulgaria were busy turning their border into a war zone, the world's first ever global peacekeeping force, the League of Nations, got wind of what was happening. And their reaction? Pure disbelief. Picture this: the world's most powerful diplomats rushing to an emergency meeting, probably thinking, are we seriously about to prevent World War II because of a dog? But here's where it gets interesting. The League didn't mess around. They fired off the most strongly worded message in diplomatic history. Stop everything now. And for the first time ever, they actually flexed their muscles. They gave both countries an ultimatum that would make any nation think twice. Pull back your troops in 24 hours or face consequences from every other League member. Now imagine having practically every major power in the world threatening to come down on you like a ton of bricks. That's what Greece and Bulgaria were facing. The League even sent their own investigators to the border. Their mission? Figure out who really started this mess and, more importantly, how much Greece should pay for going overboard. Because let's be real, invading your neighbor over a dog incident? Even by 1925 standards, that was a bit much. So what does it cost when you invade your neighbor because of a dog? The League of Nations had an exact figure: 45,000 pounds sterling. That's about $3 million today. Talk about an expensive dog walk. Greece wasn't happy about it, but they had no choice. With the whole world watching, they pulled their troops back across the border. Just like that, the war that almost wasn't. Bulgaria got their money, but that wasn't the end of the story. Both countries became the laughing stock of Europe. Newspapers worldwide had a field day. One British paper wrote, "World peace threatened by playful pup." Another called it the most ridiculous crisis in modern history. But here's the thing. This bizarre incident actually changed history. The League of Nations, usually about as useful as a chocolate teapot, proved it could actually stop a war. For the first time ever, international pressure had forced two nations to back down. Remember that border region, Petrick? Well, after all this drama, both sides decided maybe it wasn't worth fighting over after all. They set up new rules. No shooting at dogs, no shooting at soldiers chasing dogs, and definitely no invasions over lost pets. As for the dog that started it all, nobody knows what happened to it. Some say it lived out its days in Bulgaria, probably the world's first canine refugee. Others think it made its way back to Greece. But one thing's for sure, it had no idea it almost started World War 1.5. The craziest part? This wasn't even the strangest almost war in history. Even today, tiny misunderstandings can bring nations to the brink of war. In 2021, countries nearly came to blows over a cargo ship stuck in a canal. In 2019, two nations almost fought over a tweet. But the war of the stray dog teaches us something important. Sometimes the smallest things can create the biggest chaos. And maybe, just maybe, that's why we need to think twice before letting our pride turn a minor incident into an international crisis. Next time you see your dog chasing a squirrel into your neighbor's yard, just be thankful it won't start World War III. If this bizarre slice of history caught you off guard, you're going to love what's coming next. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more mind-bending historical stories that'll make you say, "Wait, that actually happened?" Drop a comment below. What's the craziest thing your pet has ever done? I bet it didn't almost start a war. Catch you in the next video.